I think Ilja is definitely a better enemy than a friend. Further down the line, I think it's a no-brainer that this has to happen a few times.
I'm a champion!
Gunther, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Gorilla Position.
Thank you very much.
How are you today?
I'm very good.
Enjoying this little tour of the UK?
I do, especially today. Canary Wharf is, I think, one of my favorite spots in London. Actually, in this hotel, we used to stay like 2 or 3 weeks at a time for NXT UK all the time. So it's always nice coming back.
Yeah, memories.
Yes.
How does it feel to be the longest reigning and, let's be clear, the greatest ever Intercontinental Champion of all time?
Yeah, very good. I earned that.
Yeah, is that, yeah?
Yes, feels very good.
And because you had so many great 5-star matches, certainly more than Honky Tonk Man, who was the man you beat in your reign, and you made the IC title feel as special as it has been since it was on, say, Bret Hart, for example. Yeah. That as a sort of true fan of this business, that must mean an awful lot to you.
Yes, I kind of like, now I can look back at it. I always said I'm going to do my resume when it's time. And looking back at it now, I'm very happy with how everything worked out. I think they gave me the freedom with it to do it my way to a certain degree. And I'm very happy it worked out. And people really found a liking in that, how I go about what I do in the ring and how I carry myself and how I carried the championship.
Do you find when you're sort of in the moment, in the middle of the reign, do you find it tough to sit back and kind of enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is?
Not like tough, like I just don't want to because I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? I think now looking back to WrestleMania now and the match with Sami, I think I went out in the biggest possible way on the biggest stage possible. And looking back now, I think it's been a very successful journey, and I can check that now and move on.
Move on and move upwards, I assume.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. So the reign itself, 666 days, the kind of matches you were having, it really felt like a mission statement. Was there ever a sort of conversation with Triple H, whether it was at the start of the reign or somewhere sort of in the middle, about what this was going to be and why you were going to be the man to take the belt where it went?
No, not really. It was just week by week or match by match, and I never really got I never got told you're gonna be the one that holds it for the longest time ever. And I don't know if that initially was the plan. When I became Intercontinental Champion, it was still under Vince. It wasn't under Triple H. He came in a little bit later and took over. So that conversation never really happened. But I just think over the time and how I carried myself as NXT UK champion before, I think I'm the kind of wrestler that is really made for being a champion, if that makes sense, because I'm able to represent it well.
So you mentioned the old regime. I think you're one of the biggest kind of beneficiaries of this new Triple H era, as everyone's calling it. Do you think Gunther as Intercontinental Champion for 666 days would happen under Vince?
I don't know, but also that was also one of the reasons often why I didn't want to for a long time I didn't want to go to the US, because from what the product was before Triple H was not what I enjoyed. It was not. I just didn't want to be part of that. I am who I am, and that's what I can do best. And the big part of that is I need to have my time in the ring and need to have time to put on the matches I can put on. And that chance wouldn't just not be there under the old regime. And with Triple H, he always saw that in me, and I think he always had that vision for me. And I got lucky that a lot of things in my career just fell into place at the right time. And it was a little bit of a leap of faith when I first made the move over. But yeah, everything worked out at the end.
It did.
So don't worry about it too much. No.
Yeah. Ricochet, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Tommaso Ciampa, and of course Sami Zayn. So many show-stealing title matches you had, some WrestleMania show stealers in that run as well. But is there one match in the run that you're particularly proud of?
No, I don't. I can't single one out. Okay. I think every opponent was different, and I had to adjust for every opponent to make it the best thing possible, and that's what I'm proud of, that I was able to do that it was not same. There's like my format of a match, and that's just how it applies. I try to do the opposite. I try to look at my opponent and see what they bring to the table and then maximize that.
Yeah. In your opinion, was Sami Zayn the right person to drop the belt to? And is that a decision you're sort of a part of? Because there's a lot of talk about should have been Chad Gable, for example. What's your opinion on that?
I don't think there was that one right person. I think there would have been a few options. Chad is the other one that would have made a lot of sense. But Sammy's definitely one of those guys where he's the right guy to do it. He's absolutely a fantastic professional wrestler. He has that natural connection with the audience. Like, he's really that underdog, that people can really connect with and understand and struggle. And I think, it's just naturally the personality that he is. He doesn't look like the perfect athlete. That's not who he is or who he ever was. But I think that also adds to the people having the connection, because basically nobody in our audience is a perfect person. It's a very human thing not to be perfect. So it's very easy to connect with that and to go through those struggles with that person. And on top of that, he's, like I just said, he's fantastic in the ring, and he has been for years. And to do that match with him at the biggest stage possible and go out in the biggest way possible, I was very happy with that. I think it was a very successful ending to that reign.
Well, we were there live. It was an incredible end to the reign. So congrats on the match. Speaking of underdogs and telling these stories, Cody Rhodes, all the focus has been on him finishing his story. Your story is only just beginning. As a fan, I'm obviously hoping you take a step up to the undisputed title territory. He's eliminated you twice, 2 years in a row in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Do you think you'll be extracting revenge, maybe Bash in Berlin, main event, you and Cody?
I don't know if it's going to happen there, obviously, but I think in the long run, I think Cody and I are kind of made to be enemies. I think it makes sense just visually already alone, and I could see that happen in the next years. We'll see what happens now. I've not been on TV since WrestleMania. The King of the Ring is around the corner. That's something I'm very interested in partaking. And then we have to see where it goes from there. I think there are many options. And
surely the winner of the King of the Ring should get to face Cody. That's how it should work. And that should be you.
I agree to that. I think I should have the choice, actually.
Yeah.
If I would win it, I think I should have the choice who it is, but it makes logical sense.
Yeah. There are so many great talents who are, finally getting their spots on TV and getting the spotlight they deserve. But are there any talent, is there one talent in particular you could single out who's being underused on TV right now? Who would you give more TV time to?
I think they're doing actually a good job at putting people on TV and giving them the chance, to be honest, right now. And I gotta be fully honest, I'm not fully concerned. I'm not too much concerned with all the other guys too. I'm very focused on what I do.
Yeah.
I think somebody that will do great is going forward is Ilja. I think that's somebody that is kind of waiting to explode right now. He just wrestled on Raw, so the draft is coming up, so let's see where that heads. But I think he would be the guy that I would single out right now that performs at a stage that he's, I would say, almost too advanced for right now. So,
which leads me seamlessly into my final question about Ilja Dragunov. Any chance of him being part of Imperium? Or, because I don't believe enough fans have seen what you and him did in NXT UK, do you think that is a match we could get, you and Ilja tearing it up on the main roster?
I think Ilja is definitely a better enemy than a friend. And it has to come down to that. Ilja is one of us in the terms of Kaiser, Ilja and I, we all wrestle each other years back.
Yeah.
So I naturally want him to be where I am, and I think he's somebody that brings out the best in me, and I'm someone that brings out the best in him. But I think before that can happen, he has his own way to go, wherever he ends up, and then further down the line, I think it's a no-brainer that this has to happen a few times.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. Congratulations on the incredible IC title reign, and can't wait for the next stage.
Thank you very much.
I'm a champion!